Okay, after we got the ceiling all finished and the walls finished in the loft, I want to start on the stairs to be able to lift those up, get them up out of the way. Took a little break from the trim. Dawson come home from bowling. What'd you get today? Six what?
692.
692. Pretty good. Now, what we got, wait a minute. What we got is, show me the screws you're using. These are those Timber Tech ledgers. They're a nice flat washer type head, structural screw. These are three inches. I wish I had 4.5, but these will work. What we got here, stop a minute, Dawson. We got a heavy duty bed rail. This is super heavy. It's 1/8 inch. It's got pre-drilled holes on it. We've got our loft 2x6 that come across here. The reason this is seamed here is it used to have an upright that went right here up beside the rafter. And I took that out to do the drywall and the ceiling, get the insulation. I didn't want any openings. So on the end of this bed rail is a big heavy rivet and the bracket that hooks to your headboard. You can see that there. And it's already got 2 pre-drilled holes. Bring your bracket over where it belongs, like that. We cut it to length. I 90'd this out. I'm going to put a bolt. I'm going to drill another hole, but I'm going to put bolts right directly through that. Bolt and nut it. And this is going to be super strong. And he's going to use them ledger locks. He's marked his rafter. Go ahead and screw that in. You got your other one? What's that?
Did you show me jacked it? We got this.
Oh, yeah. We jacked it up with a 4x4. We got a floor jack under it, so this is straight and level. And can you see your marks right there? And then put it right in the center. Line it up 90 degrees with the rafter. You got to bring it over farther to the rafter. And then you're on your mark. He's running them up slow to be sure he's into the rafter. You are, right?
Yeah.
Crank it right down. Yeah, don't strip it out. And then, are you off your line? It looks at... I think you got to move it over, Dawson. Loosen that front one up a little. You're off your line a mile. There you go. And then buzz that one right up. Make sure it's tight. It feels snug, right?
Yeah.
And what this is going to do is we're going to take our magnetic level here. Where's that at? Stick it right on the side of that. And we're going to plumb that up like that. And then I'm going to bolt right here. I'll probably put a, let me see on the other side, there's nothing in the way. So I can go ahead and drill that. We'll put a bolt all the way through. So now we're going to make a duplicate. We put a bolt with a lock, with washers and a lock nut. And I'm going to do another one a little later. While I got a helper, I want to continue. That's pretty rugged. We got nice and level across there. So now we're going to make one more bracket and put it down here for our guardrail. All right, we put the other one on the same way. We got one bolt with a lock nut on it right now. I'll drill them out. I want to do a handrail across there. And then this is where I want to do the winch. There was already a hole where the old support was up through. I'd like to run the cable up through that and right around this upright and then down to our stairs. If I can get that to work, it'd be great. Now we're putting that dual action hand winch together. It's got a crank handle, a forward and a reverse. Not just a freewheel, but it'll lock both directions. And we're going to spool this up a little bit and test it. And this is the, how many pound is that, Dawson? 650 pound, a 3-inch wheel with a bearing pulley. So that's going to be for our cable. Let's see our cable. And there's our hook down there. And that has a latch on it. So we're going to be able to click it over an eye bolt on our stairs. And then I want to bring it up through and over the top. This thing might work slick. So Dawson put a 3/8 bolt up there through that pulley. The pulley's 640 pound or something. I forget how much. Pretty good. We're trying to figure out the angle because we want it to come down and hook on the stairs. I don't want it straight. I would like it to flop, so we might have to put it on this side. Now here's the end of the hook. It's got the safety latch. What I want to do is put a eyelet, probably a 2-inch eyelet, right through this 2x10 stringer. And then probably right here on this edge, and we'll hook our hook on. That way it'll be out of the way. Our cable will be to the inside. Dawson, he put a little bracket up there, a little heavy-duty, pretty heavy-duty garage door style bracket. And he's got lock washers and 3/8 bolts. And I'm going to pull on this now. You pull on that end. Pull down. That looks like it's going to work great, don't it? So now we just got to assemble our winch and put it right over there. On that, I'm going to run another upright 2x4 to strengthen that one up. That'll make a big box. And then I think our stairs will hinge just fine. And I think the holes that are already in these big brackets, we're going to hook maybe a 2x4, run a 12-footer to the wall or something. And then maybe I'll do a short one here in case I want to put a large item up. We can just unhook it or move it out of the way. And that'll give us a safety rail up there so we don't fall off the thing if we're up there monkeying around. And moving along. But Dawson's hungry. He wants me to go cook something. Okay, I got a little time to work on this a little bit here. We did the pulley the other day. Dawson did that. I put a gallon of paint on the end of it for weight. It comes down through an existing hole that was up there. I had a 2x4. I screwed to this. You can't even move it now. So when you put a 2x4 the opposite direction and make a corner, it's super rugged. We've got a crosser up there with, a bridge with some joist hangers, some construction screws. So it can't pull that way. I notched into here and I got into this solid base down here, which is a 4x, right? Pair of 2x's, I think, that makes an upright. It's pretty rugged. It doesn't move at all. I want to take this winch handle and I want to mount it when I get the right height here. And I want to drill. This has 3/8 inch holes. I want to put 3/8 inch bolts through this so it's good and rugged. Okay, I drilled through the long ways. Got bolt lock nut, 2 bolts on the back side here. So this baby's not going anywhere. Now I just got to fish my cable through the winch and start cranking it. And then I got to find an eyelet for my stairs. Now there's a few ways to wind your cable around the winch. And in this case, on this side, there's 2 holes like that. And they want you to bring the cable out and go into the other one back across itself. And I'm a little concerned with that because if you let it spool all the way out, the cable can, loosen up. So I think I'm going to try to use a cable clamp, which is pretty much guaranteed it can't slip out of. Another way is some of these drums have a slot in it where you go over and then back through it. And this does not. So I'm going to mess around with this clamp and see which way I like best. You can see right here, there's a square hole, a square hole. This winch did not come with any hardware, which is surprising. It seems like to be safe and have good feedback, they'd give you a way to clamp it. So I'm going to monkey with this a minute, see what I come up with. Well, excuse the mess, but there's the base of the stairs. I want to put an eyelet through the 2x10 stringer, so the cable's going to be over here about 18 inches. It goes up across that pulley. 640 pound test, I think, or 840, I can't remember. Comes down through an existing hole through that floor to the winch. I can make that hole a little bit different, which I probably will anyway, because that used to have an upright going through it. Now let's test this. I put a about a 60-pound toolbox of stuff onto that chain instead of that paint can. Well, let's just crank away here. It's a little loud. See that? And that's my idea. And you see this winch locks. And then when you want to release it, you put a little pressure on it, lift that leg up, and it ratchets the opposite way. It doesn't freewheel and fall down. I didn't want to use one like that because then you got to rely on your arm to hold it. And this one I think is a 1,200 pounds. So this should work out great. Turns really easy. So I think it's going to be a win-win. Now I got to find a 2-inch long eyelet for the stairs, and I'll hook these stairs up and test them. I found this tie down. That's a weld-on style, so it's not open here. So this will handle a substantial amount of weight. It's in a little box of bolts. I said, oh, perfect. I drilled 2 holes. We can mount it here. It'll be down out of the way when I don't want the cable hooked on. It picks up, so it'll lift like that, and it'll drop down out of sight. So I'm going to do that. I recessed the holes a little bit. So I'll put that on with nuts and washers. Okay, I actually found lock nuts, so I know they won't loosen. And I got my cable here, my hook. You just hook this baby on there. I'm trying this one-handed, but yeah, it can't fall off in there. Now we're going to go over to the crank. We're going to test this bad boy. Here goes nothing. Hey, there we go. I won't make this loud for you, so I'll crank this up and show you. Well, I think I'm going to leave the video at this. We've got T-hinges at the top. That lifts right up level. It clears the garage door. Our winch system works great. It's 1,000 pound, and the stairs probably weigh 100 and something. And the winch itself has a lock up and a lock down, and so it's safety both ways. It's not a freewheel. And I'm going to work up some kind of redundancy, like a hook or something. So if the stairs are up for a while, I can make sure they're going to stay up there, you know, that kind of thing. Nobody's going to crank that handle. I don't think anybody will. It's my garage. So, but that's about it. I'm going to work on some handrails and finish up the loft up there. I've got to pick up some 2x6s for the floor. I might add that on another video if I get time. And that's about it. But this is a success. It's a good way to get my stairs up out of the way. I didn't want to run stairs down across this way because this is a normal bay that I'd park or work in. And so it'd have to be over here. I didn't want it to come up from half of the garage, take up most of the loft on one side to be able to turn over. So I didn't think that'd be a good idea. Plus, I may be putting the toolboxes over there, so it'd have to come this way farther, and that would be just a waste. So basically, a temporary stair on a hinge goes up with a winch, and they may stay down quite often if there's not a vehicle in here. This cable itself can be unhooked from that, and so that can get up out of the way. I can just take it right back over. So I think that's going to work. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.